You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
what will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness and a huge lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. I'm here with Jeff and Matt. How are you both today?
Good. A little thrown by the different intro. I don't know when I have to be ready now. I have to listen to you.
I know we got to keep everyone on your toes. It's been almost 400 episodes.
And I was only bringing a little bit of knowledge today, and it's unfortunate because it seems like there's not going to be any of that.
Nope, just a huge lack of seriousness, I guess. So
yeah, huge lack of seriousness. Ken is not here today. He's actually.
Oh, that's why there's not. That Ken is the one who keeps us on the straight and narrow. So.
That's right. He's working.
Oh, this is going to be a 3-hour podcast actually. So get ready, guys.
He's over at the Marshmallow Fluff factory working on their social media for TikTok. It seems like not the best fit because he doesn't like TikTok, but we'll see how that goes. But we have some really great guests with us today that we're excited to introduce. First, we'll introduce our competitor who's going to be partnering with Matt today. Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, coming to us from Massachusetts, Whitney Williams. How are you, Whitney?
I'm doing great.
And thank you so much for wearing the Triviality shirt. I just noticed that now, so thank you. It's an audio medium, obviously, but thank you for wearing the shirt.
Yeah. It was a Christmas gift from my boyfriend, and when we first started talking, we had gotten on the topic of podcasts, and I was like, "Have you ever heard of this podcast, Triviality? I listen to it all the time. I'm really into trivia." And he's like, "I'm a Patreon subscriber, and I've actually hosted an episode."
That's awesome.
We're like, of all the people in the world, it was just kind of like, we don't believe in signs, but
that's so cool. Well, what's your boyfriend's name?
Jay Friend.
Oh yes, of course we've had Jay. Yes, I think twice. I think at this point. That's awesome though. Shout out to Jay, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to.
Like you said, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm a prosecutor. I've been a prosecutor for 11 years now. And in my spare time, I train mixed martial arts.
That's awesome. And so you're going to partner with Matt today. And just to give your team name right away, why not? Because you train martial arts. What's your team name going to be?
We're going to be the Choke Artists.
All right. Now, is that because Matt might choke and lose you the game, and you also might choke him out?
Wagering has never been my thing, but we're going to see how it goes.
Awesome. Well,
and you're one half of statistically the worst team is on your team, so there's a good chance of that.
Let's go.
The other half's at the Fluff Factory.
The Fluff Factory, right? Exactly. And in the 70s it meant something different, but luckily he's okay today. But I'm going to partner with Jeff today, and since they're going to be the Choke Artists, Jeff, you came up with our team name.
Yeah. In the martial arts spirit, we're going to be Taekwondo.
Love it. But we have two teams going head-to-head, but we need a host, and we're super excited to have our host today coming to us from Missoula, Montana, Adam Vanregenmorter. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing great.
So excited to have you here. We were debating whether you are a first visitor from Montana, which you might be, and if not, apologies to anyone who's been on the show from Montana, but excited about that. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to in Montana.
I am a physician. I've been in Missoula now for 11 years. I'm originally from Michigan, and then I did my medical school there, and then I went into pathology. And so I'm a pathologist. So what that means for, there's probably a lot of people that don't know what that is, but I look at slides under the microscope and diagnose cancer.
Well, thank you for your good work for helping people, and you wrote today's game, and I think you said you also write questions for Pub Trivia. Is that right?
Yeah, I host at a local brewery, and then I have a partner who usually reads all the questions. So I apologize if I stumble through any of these because I'm not used to being the one reading them. But I end up writing most of our questions. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're excited. So it's going to be choke artist versus taekwondo, but in order to play the game, we have to throw it to the rules. So let's get a rules read.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
Crop rules everything around me.
All right, Whitney, Darren did his best mixed martial arts announcer voice. How did that sound?
It sounded fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, Darren. And Adam, we're ready to go. It's going to be a fun one today. So let's get cracking.
Great. I just want to start off by saying that I have several homophones within the quiz, so I want you to keep that in mind and don't get thrown if it seems like there might be a homophone, okay?
Okay.
We'll start with round 1, question 1. The category is 3 easy steps. The question is, in the 90s, when Bare Naked Ladies played the song If I Had $1 Million, it became popular for fans to throw this product at the stage. To discourage the practice, the band put food bank donation bins at the venue entrances with signs saying it hurts to get hit with this product, and encouraging fans to donate the product instead. In 2009, the company who makes this product promoted an essay contest. The winning child got to push the button, initiating the controlled demolition of Texas Stadium, once home to the Cowboys.
Neal, we can go ahead and lock in. Actually saw BNL perform this track about 3 weeks ago.
I love that you call them BNL, but I trust you, so we'll lock in.
Were you throwing this food item, Jeff?
I was not prepared to throw this.
Okay.
And in retrospect, that feels like a missed opportunity. So
you only get to see BNL once. Whitney, I don't know this. I know the song.
I've heard the song.
No
I'm admittedly not a huge fan of the band.
Oh, no.
And I'm not sure what food reference could be within the lyrics of that song that would cause people to throw a specific product at the stage. And I'm trying to see.
Well, I think what would be funny in a song and what would hurt if you got hit with it. And I think it might be like a can of Spam, because it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek song where they're not doing ridiculous things with their $1 million.
Yeah. I'm also wondering what the demolition of Texas Stadium might have to do with any of it as well.
Oh, I blocked all that out.
Yeah. So the company somehow controlled who pushed the button to demolish Texas Stadium. A can of beans, maybe?
I kind of like can of beans.
What do
you think of that?
I mean, it's a complete guess. I have no more educated guess than that.
That certainly would hurt, and I think is also another pantry staple. But I think the line in the song is they would no longer have to eat Kraft dinner, and by that they meant Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I'm pretty sure that people used to throw boxes of Kraft mac and cheese at them.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. I've been to a couple of their concerts, and I really feel bad for the cleaning crew because there's just macaroni everywhere.
Sounds like a 5-year-old's dream.
That's 10 points to one team. We'll move on to question number 2. The category is prehistoric puns. In the 1994 Flintstones movie, Halle Berry plays this cavewoman role as an ex-love interest and current secretary to Fred. The role was slotted to be played by an actress with this actual name. However, the actress turned down the role because she was already filming The Specialist.
Jeff, you wrote down the actress from The Specialist, and that is the name of the character from The Flintstones, played by Halle Berry. So we're going to lock in.
We actually just had a question that alluded to this, I think. Do you have any idea, Whitney?
So I know this is objectively not a great film. However, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
There's nothing wrong with loving movies that are objectively bad, even as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, Batman and Robin to this day is one of my favorite movies. So, I'm trying to remember the name of the character. Is it Sharon Stone?
I'm 100% sure
right.
it's Sharon Stone.
Okay.
So we're locked in Sharon Stone.
Yeah, we agree. We think it is Sharon Stone.
Okay, very nice. Both teams got that one correct. We'll move on to question 3. Category is zeros and other round-shaped things. My real name is Sid, and you know where I live. In 2008, I tried to eat Stephen Colbert's Peabody Award. In 2010, I started a Facebook page as part of a campaign to host SNL. SNL compromised and let me appear with Jeff Bridges hosting. We sang Silver Bells together. Not anymore, but Siri used to include my name in the answer when you asked, what is 0 divided by 0?
Jeff and I are going to lock in.
So I guess we could start with tried to eat a Peabody Award. That's a very specific type of person, I think, or monster possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ideas, Whitney?
I started a Facebook campaign. Okay.
I vaguely remember that. I think, and I also think that this person's real name is Sid.
Is it?
I think it's the Cookie Monster.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what 0 divided by 0 would have to do with
I don't
Cookie
know.
Monster.
Maybe something with internet cookies. I don't know. Something like that.
Cookies are in fact round-shaped things. So
yeah.
I'm good with Cookie Monster for sure.
Locking in Cookie Monster.
Yeah, I think it's illogical to divide by 0, right? You can't do it or something like that in the math sense. But we said Cookie Monster.
And again, both teams got it correct. Yeah, it used to be when you asked Siri what 0 divided by 0 was, she said something snarky and it included something about Cookie Monster. I can't remember the exact wording, but that's why that was in there. Okay, very good. We're going to move to question 4, and the category is roadkill. The only known carriers of leprosy are humans, manga bay monkeys, and this animal. The bacteria M. leprae will not grow in artificial media, so the footpad of this animal is used as a growth media. This animal comes in Screaming Harry, Pink Fairy, and Giant versions, among others.
Yep. Jeff and I are going to lock in. I saw one of these at 3 a.m. Once, very hot weather, and also in a movie getting tackled. So we're gonna lock in.
I think there's a Christmas variety on Friends too. Whitney, do you know this?
I think it's a possum.
A possum? See, I thought it was armadillo. So maybe you're right. But
Pink Fairy? I don't know.
I've seen hairy screaming possums all throughout the Midwest. So I can see that.
Did you have a different thought?
No, I originally thought it was armadillo. Okay. I thought that was the ones that carried leprosy.
Oh, that's.
That was my original guess.
My answer was based on the varieties, but admittedly, I've only lived in the Midwest and in Massachusetts, so I'm not familiar with armadillos.
Right. And Neal spent some time in the desert filming a movie, which is, I think, where he's making that reference. It's a little game theory, but I think it might be. I think I'm confident locking in armadillo.
All right, we'll go with armadillo.
Yeah, Matt's game theory is correct. Saw one on the film set, armadillo, and my other reference was from Necessary Roughness, with the mascot of the college football team is an armadillo, gets into a fight. So yeah, we said armadillo.
Excellent. Well, both teams are correct. It is an armadillo. Okay, question number 5, medical procedures. I promise it's not all medicine. I realize that's 2 in a row there, but it's only peripherally related here. Medical procedures. Cleopatra's firstborn son, also known as Ptolemy XV, was given this name. His name was a derivative of his father's name. And I'm going to clarify there, my name's Adam and my son's middle name is Addison, which means son of Adam. So that's what I mean by derivative. This word is also Macbeth's Achilles heel, so to speak. Additionally, if you translate the answer, you get a fast food restaurant owned by the person who owns the Detroit Tigers and the Red Wings.
Okay, Jeff, we were talking about this, trying to get it from the Macbeth angle and who killed Macbeth or how Macbeth died and et cetera, but I think you had a better in. So let's lock in your answer if you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said you have this from the Tigers and Red Wings angle. That is the part that I'm not sure on. So if Little Caesars is the company you're thinking of, that confirms.
It is.
I think it's cesarean.
Oh, perfect. And that is a medical term. So let's lock in.
Yeah, we figured son of Caesar, Caesarion.
Okay, I'm very impressed. I ran this at trivia a few weeks ago, and I didn't have a single team get this right, and you guys came to it.
2 for 2.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Yeah, so Cleopatra, her first lover, or probably not first lover, but first person that she had a child with was Caesar. And then, interestingly, when Caesar was killed, Cleopatra was actually in Rome at the time and had to flee with little Caesarion along with her. And then Macbeth could be killed by no man born. And the man who killed him was born by Caesarion. And of course, Little Caesars is a fast food chain, and it's a medical procedure. So you guys came to that I'm pretty impressed.
I'm so glad Whitney's on my team, because I would have said Caesar's son, because I have no idea what else I could have done.
Well, originally we were talking about Mark Antony, but that would have been her second lover, right? Her husband or whatever.
Yeah.
We were thinking about Macduff,
great
and we're like,
singer,
that
Mark
doesn't
Antony.
fit.
Little Caesars, though, you're making me think I really want to try those new pizza puffs. I hear they're amazing. Not that anyone cares, but anyway. But after 5 questions, it looks like Team Choke Artist is not choking so far. They have 40 points, just missed the first question, and Team Taekwondo with 50 points. So, as Matt likes to say, it's anyone's game.
It's anyone's game. I do like to say it.
He only says it because you like to say it.
We all like to say it.
I just like to hammer as many references as possible until the listener, wants to fast forward.
Tune it out.
I think you're doing it wrong.
Okay, moving on. Question 6. The category is Pinkman's Alias. Star Trek's James T. Kirk was inspired by this person's journal entry. Quote, "Ambition leads me further than any other man has before." This person circumnavigated the globe twice and was killed by natives in Hawaii. The spot where he died is considered British territory.
Okay, we are going to lock in.
I have an idea based on the category, but what were you thinking?
So the category I was excited about, and then it didn't help me, unfortunately. He was a cook.
Mm-hmm. Some say the captain.
And I'm not certain, but that's where my brain went. As far as people have circumnavigated the globe and.
Yeah, I think that was his nickname was Captain Cook when he put the hot sauce in his delightful recipe, I believe. I haven't watched it in a while. But yeah, I'm good going with, is it James Cook? Is that the guy?
Yeah, and James Kirk isn't very far from that, so it feels right.
Okay. Yep, Captain Cook.
Yeah, we wrote down Cook and thought of the Jesse Pinkman meth cook connection. Great clues in that one. We said Cook.
Okay, excellent. You both got it correct again. You guys are both teams are doing great. Move on to question 7. Category: A Light Understanding. In 1952, this person was offered the presidency of Israel. He declined, stating that he lacked both the natural aptitude and the experience to accept. He immigrated to the U.S. at age 54. The FBI spied on him for 22 years, hoping to unmask him as a subversive.
All right, Neal and I discussed real quick, and we're pretty confident we have a decent answer, so we're going to lock in.
I think the only clue beyond just knowing it has got to be the category, and it's not helping me. It's not helping me.
Oh, a light understanding. Yeah. And the experience to accept.
Sounds like a great guy. Very humble.
It's not Gandhi, maybe? All right. Well, it looks like we have absolutely nothing on this one. Went through all the clues that we think are in there, and we got nothing. So we are going to say Mahatma Gandhi. So
I think that this person understood quite a bit about light and maybe its relation to energy. And how that equals mass and the speed of light constant squared. So we said Albert Einstein.
Okay, excellent. It is Albert Einstein. Nice.
Yeah, great clues.
Because I didn't see Oppenheimer. This is my fault.
It makes sense now.
We were talking about that. I don't know. You're up on the meme game, Matt. For anyone else listening, though, but someone put Linkin Park at the end of Oppenheimer, kind of like the end of Transformers when Einstein's talking to Oppenheimer, and it works so well. Anyway, what's the name of that song? The what I do, you know which one?
Oh, that could be any
with the
song,
clinking,
that's
clinking
not
metal
anything.
from Transformers. Anyway,
I've never seen
Saint
a
Anger.
Transformer.
oh okay. You've never seen a Transformer at all?
I've not seen any of the films.
Optimus
I'm with
Prime.
you on that.
Wow.
None of them.
So you love BNL.
I've
Whitney
seen the
doesn't
cartoons
like
and
it.
stuff.
Oh, it's called What I've Done. But you love BNL. Whitney doesn't. Whitney hasn't seen Transformers. You haven't either. So now you have common ground.
It's important.
Yeah, it's important. All right.
Okay, moving on. Question 8. Soccer Hall of Famer. This was the name of the first chimpanzee launched into space in 1961. Ken, with this surname, is a young Earth creationalist who famously debated Bill Nye and built a full-sized ark. Speaking of arks, he was one of Noah's sons.
Okay, we're going to lock in over here and let you both discuss.
Excellent. Well, you know Noah's sons. Good guys, right? You're
Sure.
What were the names?
So I honestly, Ham is the only one that stood out because it is such
Okay.
a strange name. So
Yeah.
when I'm looking through the clues in this, I'm not. If I had to name soccer players, I would probably name Pele, and that would be about it. Thinking of another soccer player who comes to mind, I think Ham might be the
Mia Hamm.
overlapping name.
Part of the Soccer Hall of Fame, and I believe that's the name of the chimpanzee. I don't know anything about Ken Ham, but he sounds great. Building an ark, whatever he did. But we're going to lock in with Ham.
Yeah, we had a very similar discussion. We were trying to think of Ken's name. We knew it was in Kentucky, like a big theme park. There's like a documentary about it. I think it had like dinosaurs riding or people riding dinosaurs or something. I don't know, but
And we were like, was it Sham? Was it Japheth?
yeah,
I think those are the other two.
yeah, exactly. And then Soccer Hall of Famer, obviously Mia Hamm, one of the best ever. So we locked in with Ham as well.
Okay, excellent. The answer is Ham. My parents, incidentally, had 6 kids and named them all after biblical people. So hence Adam for me. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get the name Ham. That'd be great.
That would be, especially with your last name, it'd be like a really tough, like you'd be a great action star, something like Ham Vanregenmorter. I mean,
For
that's
sure.
pretty sweet.
For sure.
You're like, I was holding out for Abednego.
Exactly. Okay, category number 9, raise your hand. In the 2006 cult classic Idiocracy, the main protagonist is accidentally renamed first name not, last name this word. Both the UK and the US have a popular toiletry that goes by this brand name. Oddly, these companies are not connected. In the US, the brand name toiletry is marketed exclusively to women.
Okay, so they're locked in over there. We're trying to think of a toiletry brand, both the UK and the US, that aren't connected and marketed exclusively to women.
Well, I'm trying to think of even the movie, because like Dax Shepard's character was what, Frito?
Something like that, yeah.
Frito was the president, wasn't he? Oh, no, Nacho Camacho was the president.
Nacho Camacho, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just not sure.
no, I don't. So accidentally renamed. So I don't think this is the actual Luke Wilson character.
Yeah, this one, I'm sure this one's going to bite us in the ass.
Yeah, well, we've
I'm just
been
not
doing
sure.
Pretty good so far. So
Okay, yeah, we'll lock in with Venus.
not Venus.
Not Venus. And then what did you guys
It's
have?
very funny. Neil, you said the answer.
Very funny.
But you're not sure.
You're not sure.
That's his name. He's not sure.
Okay, excellent. Matt and Whitney, you guys get the points there. I just about started cracking up when he said not sure and sure several times in a row there. It was great. And then, of
No
course,
light bulbs going off.
Of course, the category is raise your hand. And I don't know if you guys recall the commercials, but the raise your hand if you're sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't
Now
remember
rings a bell.
that, but yeah, because it's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Neil
just
it
need
might
more
just be one of
electrolytes
those
this
things that
morning.
sticks in my mind as a teenager, but
Memory
a good-
unlocked.
Great clues out. Yeah, we should have gotten that one, but I haven't seen that movie in so long. I just did not compute there. But great question.
Okay, great. We're going to move on to question 10. The category is geography plus geometry. Okay, if I tie a rope around the Earth's equator, and then after completing this, I realize that I actually need the rope to be 1 foot off the ground instead, surrounding the entire Earth, how much more rope do I need? And I'm going to give you multiple choice, okay? A, it's 6 feet, or approximately 6 feet. B is approximately 600 feet. C is approximately 600,000 feet. Or D is approximately 6 million feet.
So that took way too long. Sorry, everyone. At least the listeners at home get that all edited out. But for our purposes, I did some math because I don't know any better, and we're going to guess C.
Well, we didn't even talk about ours yet.
We didn't.
But when you're thinking about, we're looking at circumference, right? That's probably the measurement we're looking at.
Yeah.
When you're looking at rope,
Yeah.
and then if you're moving it 1 foot off the ground, you're just changing the radius by 1 foot.
Exactly.
When you're looking at that, and so then it comes down to a scale of, is it thousands or millions? Because it's definitely more than 606, So what do you think, C or D? I think I don't think the Earth's that wide that it's 6 million.
Yeah. 6 million more feet of rope seems
like a lot of rope.
Yes, because at the end of the day, we're increasing the diameter by 2 feet.
Yeah. You'd have to go to several Home Depots to get that amount of rope.
Well, I mean, rope supply notwithstanding,
right. Disregard that. Yeah, I think C is what we're going to be locking in with.
I did not go to law school to do math, but yeah, C.
And we agree. We think it's C over here.
Okay. Well, neither team got that one correct. I'm sorry. If you look at circumference, it's pi times diameter, and we're just adding 1 to the, or I guess we're adding 2 to the diameter because there's 1 foot on each side, so it's just 2 times pi. So it's 6.28 feet.
Wow.
Well, after all the calculations from both sides we didn't get a right answer, but we're still doing pretty well in this game. It looks like choke artists are going to be going into the swing round with 70 points, and Taekwondo are going into the swing round with 80 points.
We were only off on that last one by 59,994, though, to be fair.
I was just going to give you one thing. What's interesting about that last one is if you do that around a ping pong ball or you do it around the sun, it's the same answer.
Oh, wow. Before we get to the swing round, just wanted to remind everyone at home that we'd sure appreciate if you'd like to support us over at Patreon. We're on our road to 600 this year in 2024. We got about 20 spots left to go to reach that goal, which we're just super grateful that everyone who's been joining us in the last few weeks. If you go to Patreon, you can explore a lot of great perks like extra audio episodes every week. So there's a different one written by one of us each week, plus a crop drop that you get at the $5 or higher level. And then if you're at the $1 or higher level, you get all of our newest episodes ad-free and early on the Patreon app. And you don't even have to go on the app, Jeff. You can actually listen through Spotify or take the RSS link onto your own personal podcast app, which is really nice. So yeah, if you'd like to join just everyone who's really helped us keep going over the past 7 years, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
Okay, so for the speed round, all the answers are going to be whole numbers. Question number 1. The god Shiva has this many faces, while Muslims pray to Allah this many times per day. The name of Aiden Galaraga's character in Umbrella Academy. 2. The maximum clubs allowed in your bag during a round of golf without penalty. The number of lines in a traditional sonnet, or the total number of digits on a domestic guinea pig. 3, the number of future presidents that signed the Declaration of Independence, the record for most goals scored by the goalie during an NHL regular season game, or the number of Academy Awards won by Tom Hanks. 4, the level of hell according to Dante for gluttony, the number of knights killed by the rabbit in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Lucy Lawless's Cylon character name in Battlestar Galactica? 5. Throwing the quaffle through the hoop scores this many points in Quidditch. Pele wore this jersey number, or this cranial nerve is also called the vagus nerve. 6. This number is the lowest possible score for a hand in Baccarat. It's the number of toppings, and that's not including the hamburger or the bun, pictured on the Burger King logo. And it's the typical number of kidneys removed from the recipient during a kidney transplant. 7. This is the lowest possible whole number not represented on a card in the game of Sorry. It's also a women's competition basketball size. And if you're drawing a benzene molecule has this many carbon and this many hydrogen atoms. 8. The number of states that can be typed using only one row on the keyboard. Brunei shares a border with this many countries, and this is the number of Jesus' disciples who were not killed or suicided. In other words, who died of natural causes. 9. The elves forged this many rings of power according to Tolkien. According to official reports, this many shots were fired during JFK's assassination, or Adam West's Batman and Batman the Animated Series both ran for this many seasons. And then finally 10, in Squid Game, the participant with this number on his shirt had a brain tumor. This is the number of remaining Blockbuster video stores in the US, and it's also the number of spaces to move from Pacific Avenue to North Carolina Avenue in Monopoly.
Okay, we're going to discuss these questions, and we'll be back with our answers after these messages.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Okay, all the answers are now locked in. We're going to throw it back to Adam, get these great clues one more time, and give our answers.
Okay, question 1 was the god Shiva has this many faces while Muslims pray to Allah this many times per day. And it's also the name of Aiden Gallagher's, I'm probably pronouncing the wrong character, in the Umbrella Academy.
So for us, we think that that's 5. So that was our guess.
And we also had 5.
Okay, great. Both teams got that correct. Number 2, the maximum clubs allowed in your bag during a round of golf without penalty, the number of lines in a traditional sonnet, or the total number of digits on a domestic guinea pig.
I was pretty sure from the golf, certain after the sonnet, and excited to learn about guinea pigs. We said 14.
Yeah, Matt thought that the guinea pig might have 13, but we ended up with 14.
I was wrong there.
Yes.
Matt's mutilated guinea pig.
No, it's just a guinea pig that loves woodworking.
Yeah. It's funny, when I ran this in trivia, there were multiple teams that did odd numbers, and you're just like, wait a minute. But yeah, correct. 14 is the answer. Question number 3, number of future presidents that signed the Declaration of Independence, the record for most scores scored by a goalie in an NHL regular season, and the number of Academy Awards that Tom Hanks has won.
Yep, we thought of Philadelphia Forrest Gump, so we said 2.
And we went with 3.
Okay, and the correct answer is 2. Okay, going on number 4, the level of hell according to Dante for gluttony, the number of knights killed by the rabbit in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and Lucy Lawless's character, Cylon character name in Battlestar Galactica.
We guessed 3.
And we were all over the place and ended up on 9.
Okay, excellent. The answer is 3. Number 5, throwing the quaffle through the hoop scores this many points in Quidditch. Pele wore this jersey number, and this cranial nerve is also called the vagus nerve.
We were focusing on the nerve due to our own elements here, and we said 10.
Yeah, and I focused on the quaffle while Matt focused on Pele, and we also landed on 10.
Okay, awesome. We got it from different angles, but both teams got that one correct. It's 10. Number 6, this number is the lowest possible score for a hand in Baccarat. It's the number of toppings other than the hamburger and bun pictured on the Burger King logo. And it's the typical number of kidneys removed from the recipient during a kidney transplant.
I just want to preface this with the shenanigans were not noted until after we had locked in, and we said 1.
And we went with 2.
Okay, well, no team got that correct. The answer is 0.
Yep, because you don't remove from the recipient.
Exactly. The first time I found that out, actually, as a pathologist, I had to train how to do autopsies. Unfortunately, it's just not something I love doing, but I have done my share of autopsies in my life. And the first time that I had somebody who had they had an extra kidney, I'm like, what's going on? There's an extra kidney in here. I had no idea. And then the Burger King logo is kind of one of my favorite kind of questions because we see it all the time and nobody seems to really recognize that there's not actually toppings on there. It's just a hamburger and a bun. Number 7, this is the lowest possible whole number not represented on a card in the game of Sorry. It's also the size of a women's competition basketball. And then for anybody who's ever taken organic chemistry, a benzene molecule has this many carbons and this many hydrogen atoms. You have to draw that about 1 billion times if you're in organic chemistry.
Yep. I know a lot about rings, mostly, of course, from Beyonce. And so we said 6.
We went with 11.
Okay, and the answer is 6. Number 8, the number of states that can be typed using one row of the keyboard. Brunei shares a border with this many other countries, and the number of Jesus' disciples who were not killed or suicided.
Yeah, this one I think we know just from our many trips to Brunei to hang out with all the sultans. Yeah,
Neal just wants to drive that XJ220.
That's right. We just said 1.
We also had 1.
That is correct. Both teams got that one correct. Number 9, the elves. I have to make a correction here. I said that the elves forged this many rings. It's actually the elves were given this many rings of power, according to Tolkien. So the elves were given this many rings of power, according to Tolkien. According to official reports, this many shots were fired during the JFK assassination, and both Adam West's Batman and the Batman the Animated Series ran for this many seasons.
Yeah, Neal, you seem to know this one right away.
Right, and I'll let the listener decide if it was because of the Batman seasons or reading all the Tolkien books, but we locked in with 3.
It's actually, you're a huge JFK historian.
That's true.
We also had 3.
Excellent. Both teams got that correct. And then finally, in Squid Game, the participant with this number on his shirt had a brain tumor. This is the number of remaining Blockbuster video stores, and it's also the number of spaces to move from Pacific Avenue to North Carolina Avenue.
This one was a little tricky for us only in that we weren't sure if Adam was not counting the last remaining Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, maybe because it's not like officially on the books, I guess. So we still locked in with 1 because we know there's the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, but maybe you were wanting 0, but yeah, we said 1.
Although I forgot about the spaces. You have to move some number of spaces to get from one to another, right?
Right.
We also had 1.
Okay, both teams got that correct. Yeah, I was indeed referring to the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. In fact, one of my friend's sons, for his birthday, he really, really wanted to go there for his birthday, so they took a trip just to go to Blockbuster Video.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I would love to do that because I really miss going to Blockbusters every weekend. I worked at Blockbuster, but I always miss going there on Friday and spending 2 hours walking around reading DVD boxes. After the swing round, it looks like Choke Artist picking up 30 points, bringing their total to an even 100. And only 25 points in the lead is Taekwondo with 125 points.
Category number 1, a tailless tale. This book was written by H.A. Ray in 1941 and has sold more than 25 million copies. Forrest Gump's mom reads this book to him. He also stores a copy of this book in his briefcase. Jared, the protagonist of The Pretender, is fascinated with this book.
All right, Neal and I agree, and we're going to lock in.
Okay. This seems like a tough one. We're looking at a 1941 book, 25 million copies. That's a lot of copies. Can you think of anything that fits that description? No.
No. I'm stuck on not having heard the author's name before.
Yeah. What were some books that you were thinking of?
I mean, I'm also looking at the category, a tailless tale.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I was thinking like Tale of Peter Rabbit or something like that. Because I mean, something Forrest Gump would have enjoyed as a kid.
Peter Cottontail.
And I've never seen The Pretender, so that's not helpful to me.
I think you're right to go in the rabbit route. It feels like it's something. Is there like a run rabbit run or some kind of the tortoise and the hare? Could it be that? Is this a?
I mean, the tortoise and the hare, I don't think was written in 1941.
Oh, that's probably true.
Forrest Gump's mom used to just read him Water Trip Down.
Yeah. Light reading for the kid.
Yeah. So we have no idea. You kind of mentioned the tailless tale. Maybe something to do with rabbits. People like rabbits. So we're going with Here Comes Peter Cottontail.
And Neal and I independently wrote down the same answer, which we kind of like. And upon reflection, we think maybe Curious George is a monkey with no tail. So we said Curious George.
Excellent. It is Curious George. The tailless tale is another example of the Mandela effect. A lot of people
imagine
my
George has a tail.
Him with a tail.
That's why.
Blasphemy, right, Matt?
That's your soapbox. Is George has a tail.
Curious George is eating his Whopper. It's got toppings and he has a tail.
And he's holding it with his prehensile tail.
It's 13 digits.
Okay, question number 2. The category is Wendy's choice versus a pen. In physics, the this length is equal to 1.6 times 10 to the negative 34 meters, and is the scale where classical physics breaks down and quantum mechanics dominate. In Ed, and Eddie, Johnny 2x4 has an imaginary friend named This. The current world record for this is 9 hours, 38 minutes, and 47 seconds.
I'm proud that I knew it on the first clue, and I knew those other ones as well. So we're going to lock in.
Well, that was one faster than me because I got it on the second clue and confirmed it on the third. How about you?
I mean, Ed and Eddie, I'm just proud that I share an affection for that show with someone.
Whitney's got a Johnny 2x4 poster behind her right now.
Oh, he's the best. How does plank sound?
Plank sounds good. My record for planking is 9 hours and 34 minutes, so I'm right there. So
very impressive.
We can go planking. Was that where you just laid down in weird places and took videos of it? Was that? I don't know.
I think they're actually talking about the
I know what they're talking
plank,
about.
but
like an actual
My record is 47 seconds. So
okay.
I've actually been planking this entire time as well.
That's impressive.
That's why the video's off.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want us to make us feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah. So the answer is plank. The plank length. His friend's name is Plank, and it's this is where the homophones come in. But with the plank length is spelled a little differently. Okay. Question number 3. Height equals width. This structure is the tallest monument in the U.S. as well as the tallest structure in its state. Additionally, it is the nation's smallest national park. For security reasons, the Secret Service forbids the president to get the full experience.
Neal wrote down an answer very quickly that I really like, and we're going to lock it in.
I'm thinking Mount Rushmore.
I
I do. I'm not sure what the part is about the presidents not getting the full experience.
Maybe that they don't get to put their face on it. I don't know if that's the full experience.
I don't know. I've never been, so I don't know what the full experience would be.
I don't know if Joe Biden can
other
carve his face into there. It might take him a while.
Smallest national park.
It's Mount Rushmore is like way smaller than people think it is when you think about it. So it would make sense that it's not a huge national park. So we can lock in with that. I think Mount Rushmore is a good guess.
Yeah, so when I first heard the question and the category, I was trying to think of tallest structure in a state, and I've been seeing a lot of pictures of this recently, and I think the Secret Service probably doesn't like it because there's no exits anywhere for them to leave in case something happens with the president. So we said the Gateway Arch in St. Louis.
Okay, excellent. We have one team got it correct with the Gateway Arch. Correct. And of course, the height of that structure equals its width.
I did know that.
Question number 4. The category is We've Got Nothing in Common. This company is headquartered at 200 Fifth Avenue in New York. The Bride of Chucky has this name, and this is also Richard Gere's middle name. A 1958 novel by Truman Capote with this name in the title became a hit film, a Broadway musical, and a one-hit wonder song.
We are locked in over here.
Thanks to the address.
Yeah, Neal knew it just from the address. I can't say I did.
How does Tiffany sound to you?
Yeah, Tiffany's is on Fifth Avenue. It's probably not Saks, so I think I'm good with Tiffany.
And Neal, what about Tiffany's?
What?
Or breakfast there even.
Well, I said, yeah, what about Tiffany, breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, wait.
No, you both kind of like that.
Anyway.
Right? Someone likes that.
Yeah, we both kind of like this answer, Matt.
Yeah,
and,
maybe.
We're also going Tiffany's.
Yes.
Okay, once again, both teams got it right. You say we've got nothing in common. That's the line from the song.
Got nothing in common. Yeah.
Well, Matt, that's one thing we got.
Oh, there you go. I thought when Whitney said, how about Tiffany's, man? You'd be like, that's a little too pricey for me.
Okay, question number 5. The category is Bad Company. In this category of Summer Olympic sport, women physically outperform the men. Explanations include wider hips, lower center of gravity, and that a standing woman can place her elbow very close to her hip. This sport was not in the ancient games, but was one of the 9 original sports of the modern games. It has been featured in all but 2 Summer Olympics since.
Okay, so they're locked in. I threw out either like air rifle or shooting, thinking that the balance would help, and it wouldn't be part of the original Olympics because that was not around at the time, but seems like part of the modern. What were you thinking about that?
Yeah, I think it sounds good. I was thinking at it from the women versus men, the lower center of gravity, and the elbow close to the hip bone, which, as you pointed out, the lower center of gravity would help with balance. Elbow close to the hip bone would help with bracing.
Yeah.
It's asking for a category, so I think shooting is probably as specific
it's vague
as we
enough.
need to be.
Yeah. So yeah, that I think we're good. So we'll lock in with shooting, rifle, something like that.
Well, Neal was born with a 6-gun in his hand, so we said shooting.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, both teams got to that one, and of course my category was Bad Company, and one of their more well-known songs is called Shooting Star.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the answer is shooting.
I was just thinking about the lyrics to the song Bad Company by Bad Company.
Bad Company, the song by the group Bad Company, produced by Bad Company, released by Bad Company Records, probably. After 5 in the second round, Team Choke Artist picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 130, and Team Taekwondo picking up 50 points, bringing our total to 175.
Okay, Question number 6 category is 1 for the money, 2 for the show. A numismatist might own a flying eagle or a steal one of this item. In Scrubs, JD and the janitor's rivalry revolves around this item, including the finale where the janitor gives this item to JD attached to a necklace. Inspector Gadget's niece is named this.
I knew there'd be a clue I'd eventually be able to lock it. Do you know this one?
I mean, it's a type of coin, I would assume, but I don't know which it would be.
Yeah, the Inspector Gadget's niece, I believe, is named Penny, and
there you go.
with her trusty dog sidekick Brain. So Penny, it is.
Yeah, we agree. I have quite a number of steel pennies myself in my collection.
You're a numismatist?
Yeah, I would say so.
Amateur
and we said penny.
numismatist.
What's that?
You're an amateur numismatist.
Yeah, I'm very
Aspiring.
amateur at many things. I'm an aspiring trivia player, numismatist, etc.
You're on Only Coins.
He has to maintain his amateur status so we can go Olympic.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to go pro one of these years in numismatics.
Okay, excellent. Both teams got that. Is again Penny, 1 for the money.
Duh. I really should read those eventually.
Okay, question number 7 category is For's the Charm. Before World War II, this plant was found in most turf grass. However, weed killers kill it, so it is not very commonly found anymore. This character from Animal Farm never got her figure back after her 4th foal. Representing working class women, she recognized the farm's corruption but did nothing to stop it.
I'm trying to think of like weed killers kill like dandelions.
Dandelions.
For's the Charm makes me think it's a clover because four-leaf clovers.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense. I thought it was just tied into the 4th foal, but yeah, that makes sense.
I think, and that could be the name of a character. I don't know if it is or not, but.
Yeah, yes, no, it's Clover. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's locked in.
Yep.
Yes, and we agree. We said Clover.
Okay, excellent. The answer is Clover, and you guys picked up on For's the Charm, 4-leaf clover. I'm incidentally trying to currently replace my yard with clover because I'm just sick of mowing it.
Do you want some luck?
Okay, question number 8. The category is a dash on a hot day. In 1974, Washington State University student Tuariki Delamore did this during a long jump competition, making national news. Caitlin, then Bruce Jenner, experimented with this, and the Russians were preparing to do this in the 1976 Olympics. But in 1975, this was officially outlawed for the long jump.
Okay, so they're locked in. We had discussed something like, I know that it is a front flip, but I wasn't sure the name of it. And then you saw the title, the clue, and what did we come up with?
Somersault.
Yeah, it's a salt in the summer. It's a dash on a hot day. So somersault is what we're going with.
Oh, nice.
Makes a lot of sense. We just guessed they went barefoot.
Okay, excellent. And Matt and Whitney, you guys did a great job tying in from the clue, dashing on a summer day, which is somersault. Excellent. Okay, question number 9. Category is famously of Caerbannog. In 1859, Thomas Austin introduced 24 of this animal to his property in Australia to hunt. There are now more than 200 million throughout Australia. Richard Adam wrote a novel about this animal that ranked 32nd on NPR's top 100 sci-fi/fantasy novels of all time.
Okay, Jeff, we've been discussing this for a while. We don't want to disappoint all of our Australian friends, even though we might, but I like your answer if you want to lock it in.
Okay. Do you know this one offhand?
I don't know it off offhand. No.
So I'm pretty sure that this would be an animal. One of the most famous invasive species events that ever happened. These animals are known for breeding quite a lot. I imagine that this is rabbits.
Okay.
I know that they had to introduce others because they had no predators. So they were able to just breed and kind of go however they felt like. And they introduced other species to try to take care of the rabbits, which also became invasive species. So it did not go well for Australia.
Elmer Fudd, they introduced?
Yeah. It was duck season,
And it would certainly
unfortunately.
it would certainly fit the category of animals you would introduce for the purpose of hunting as well.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with rabbits.
And we too said wabbits.
Okay, excellent. Both teams got that right. Yeah, Richard Adam wrote Watership Down.
Oh.
And then the category was famously of Cabernog, we've already alluded to this. That is the rabbit that killed all the knights in the Search for the Holy Grail.
One day I'll know that because I'm going to watch those movies, I promise.
Okay, question number 10, physics. I have a bucket of water and it's on a scale. I know what the bucket weighs along with the water. Now I dip my hand into the water without touching anything but the water. What happens to the scale? Does it A go up? Does it B go down? Or does it C stay the same? So to clarify, I'm asking what happens to the weight on the scale when I dip my hand in there without touching the sides?
Jeff excitedly wrote down an answer because he loves scales and water. So we're gonna lock in.
I would imagine it would stay the same.
Bucket of water and a scale.
2 mice, a bucket of cream.
Let's see.
Because you wouldn't be exerting any additional pressure on the scale because the water would just move around your hand. You're not pressing down on the water.
The hand stays in there, and it doesn't say anything about displacing any of the water. So the water is not like filled to the top, where then it would affect, I think, the weight. But
yes.
So we're gonna say stays the same, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
Stays the same.
We believe the scale goes down. You're exerting a force on the water. So.
Okay. Well, I actually tried this out because I just wanted to make sure it was correct. So I used a scale at work. But the scale actually goes up.
Wow.
It's the buoyant force of the water holding up your hand, and that exerts a force downwards.
Much like my scale at home, just goes up.
Oh, the scale reading goes up.
Yeah.
I said down, but I mean it weighs more.
And if you want a win-win-win, your hands go up.
I wrote that.
And then they go down.
We'll take a miss. I said
They stay there.
Up, down, up, down.
My daughter's actually a major in physics at the university right now, and she could probably actually do the math on that one. I cannot.
Well, that last question of the second round was the only one this whole round that both teams got incorrect. So that was a stumper there from Adam. But going into the final round, the teams are going to have a lot of points to wager with. Team Choke Artists is picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 170. And Team Taekwondo is picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 205. And those are some really great scores here for the final round. Before we get to the final round, I might put you on the spot here just a little bit, Whitney, if you don't mind. But we love meeting and talking with all of our great patrons. And we just wanted to know, have you been enjoying all the extra bonus audio content that we've been releasing, hopefully?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have quite a commute, so I spend a lot of time in the car, and I appreciate having additional content to listen to, for sure.
Oh, good. And do you mind that all of our Patreon bonuses are a little bit more like Triviality After Dark, a little more, a little crazy?
Yeah, I like it. I like the bonus episodes that are more themed or specialized. I think it's interesting to kind of have like little mini chunks of knowledge. So yeah, enjoy
thank you. And if you have a long commute like Whitney, or maybe you don't, and you just want extra content, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And for as little as $5 a month, get all that bonus audio content. Or if you just want ad-free episodes, you can join for just as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Okay, Adam, we're ready for the final round. What are the categories that we're going to wager on?
Okay, category number 1, wine bottle sizes and the Bible. Category number 2, chance encounters, ? Hitler, Freud, and Trotsky. Category number 3, tumors with hair. Category number 4, famous prisoners of war. And category number 5, baseball rules and perfect games.
All the wagers are now locked in, and for the listeners at home, everyone's going all in just to see what happens in this this final round here. So it's going to be haymaker after haymaker. So 30s all the way down for both teams, and let's go to Adam for the questions.
Okay, excellent. Again, category 1 was wine bottle sizes in the Bible, and the question is, this wine bottle is named after one of David's sons. It holds 26 standard bottles of wine. Category number 2, chance encounters, ? Hitler, Freud, and Trotsky. In 1913, Joseph Tito, Adolf Hitler, Leon Trotsky, Joseph Stalin, Sigmund Freud, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand all lived in this city, one of the largest in Europe at the time. Category number 3, tumors with hair. Got to do questions about what you know, right? Because this organ is pluripotent, it can form teratomas. Teratomas are benign tumors that contain tissue elements from any part of the body. They're best known by medical students for containing hair and teeth, but I see all kinds of tissues, including brain, thyroid, and skin. Teratomas can occur in several organs, but this organ is by far the most common location for a teratoma. Category number 4, famous prisoners of war. This person's fame is most strongly tied to World War II, but he is arguably history's most famous POW. In 1899, while working as a war reporter, he was captured by the Boer Army. After 4 weeks captive, he escaped. He then navigated 300 miles through enemy territory, stealing food and drinking from streams, all while being pursued by a massive manhunt. And then finally, category number 5, baseball rules and perfect games. According to the MLB, a perfect game is when a pitcher throws all innings of the game while not allowing a base runner, whether a hit, walk, hit baseman, uncaught third strike, fielding error, or catcher's or fielder's interference. In 2020, a rule was added in the interest of health and safety, but mostly because it potentially shortened the game. Because of this new rule, it became possible for a pitcher to throw a perfect game, yet still lose the game 1-0. What is the new rule?
Okay, we will mull over these questions and be back with our answers. Okay, all the answers are now locked in. We'll go back to Adam for a quick recap of the questions, and we'll see how this all shakes out.
Okay, category 1, wine bottle sizes of the Bible. This wine bottle is named after one of David's sons, and it holds 26 standard bottles of wine.
We said Methuselah.
Oh, that might be right. The thing is, with most of these wine bottle sizes, they're almost all named after biblical characters. So we end up going with Solomon, which I know is one of the bigger ones.
Okay, awesome. Solomon is the correct answer. I think Methuselah was earlier in the Bible, well before David's time. Category 2, chance encounters, ? Hitler, Freud, Trotsky. In 1913, Joseph Tito, Adolf Hitler, Leon Trotsky, Joseph Stalin, Sigmund Freud, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand all lived in this city, one of the largest in Europe at the time.
All right, and for 30 points, we said Vienna.
And we also said Vienna.
Excellent. Vienna was a very big city at the time, and of course, Sigmund Freud lived there. And I believe Adolf Hitler was there visiting for a while. I think he was meeting with Stalin at the time. Okay, category number 3, tumors with hair. Because this organ is pluripotent, it can form teratomas. Teratomas are benign tumors that contain tissue elements from any part of the body. They're best known by medical students for containing hair, and teeth. But I see all kinds of tissue, including brain, thyroid, and skin. Teratomas can occur in several organs, but this organ is by far the most common location.
All right, for 30 points, we knew that this had something to do with like generating tissue, and so we figured if it was generating new tissue, maybe it was an organ that made a lot of new tissue, and so we said the testes.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if there's teeth down there, but who knows? We went with liver.
Okay, I like the thought processes here, and testes is really, really close. The key here is pluripotent. And,
is it ovaries?
Yeah, it's ovaries.
Oh.
Because a pluripotent organ would be something that can have a lot of potential for other cell types, and of course that's where we get stem cells, because you have the ovums.
Yeah. So
like
is that where they came up with the plot for teeth?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like a typical man, I didn't even consider the ovaries.
Okay, category number 4, famous prisoners of war. This person's fame is most strongly tied to World War II, but he is also arguably history's most famous POW. In 1899, while working as a war reporter, he was captured by the Boer Army. After 4 weeks captive, he escaped. He then navigated 300 miles through enemy territory, stealing food and drinking from streams, all while pursued by a massive manhunt.
This one, we thought, if you think about someone famous for World War II, we thought the Boer Army had to do with the war with the English, and we said Winston Churchill.
Yeah, we pictured a very young Winston Churchill just being a badass and then becoming very famous during World War II.
Excellent. Both teams got it. I didn't include it in the question, but he also won a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1953. So,
wow.
Category number 5, baseball rules and perfect games. According to MLB, a perfect game is when a pitcher throws all innings of the game while not allowing a base runner, whether by a hit, walk, hit baseman, uncut, third strike, fielding error, or catcher's or fielder's interference. In 2020, they added a new rule in the interest of health and safety, but mostly to shorten the game. Because of the new rule, it became possible for a pitcher to throw a perfect game, yet still lose the game 1-0. What's the rule?
Yeah, we just said the new rule is you can't go on FanDuel and bet on it.
I think that's a rule that Javante Porter found out about this year. He's suspended forever.
Oops.
No, this is, I believe, the year that the inherited runner on second, starting in the extra innings, came into effect, meaning that you have a runner automatically on second to start the inning. They could theoretically steal third and home. You wouldn't have allowed any runs, hits, errors, and lose the game 1-0.
Excellent. Yeah, it's not just a steal, though. You could have like a sacrifice bunt or sacrifice fly to get them in. But yep, That's exactly it. Runner starts at second base.
I hate that rule. It's so annoying. It's worse than the pitch clock. It's the pitch clock's annoying because you can't get enough beers in the game.
Agreed.
That's my gripe.
So this week I actually attended the shortest Major League Baseball game since 2010, 1 hour and 49 minutes.
Ugh.
Oh wow, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
You can only get like 5
basically
beers
you get up
in.
to go to the bathroom, you missed an inning.
Well, the listeners at home didn't miss a fun episode because it all came down with the wagers. I'm not sure if this is even on the recording or not, but Whitney said she was a little worried about the wagers, but she shouldn't fret because it looks like Team Taekwondo is only losing 30 points in the final round, but that wasn't enough points to win the game because we're going to end with 175. And Team Choke Artist is picking up 90 points, bringing them to 260, making them today's cream of the crop.
You're a winner, baby.
Great game.
Choke Artist was an ironic name today because we did not choke.
And now Whitney gets to legally choke one of us out on her next trip to Chicago. So
I'll see you in July.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Whitney, for joining us today. It was so nice to meet you, to know the wonderful connection between you and Jay, and wearing the T-shirt and everything. It was just a wonderful experience. But anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, or any last comments before we let you go today?
I'd like to give a shout out to my pre-pandemic trivia team, who unfortunately can't meet anymore because people kept having babies during the pandemic. But shout out to the name, I believe was originally They Hate Us Because They Ain't Us. Yeah, shout out to Jay, of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and for your support. And Adam, great game, really cool clues. We finally figured out we should be paying attention to the categories because they helped us out a ton. But thank you so much for taking the time today to write these questions and to host. You did a great job. Anyone you'd like to shout out or anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'll give a shout out to Jim Stanikar. He's a high school teacher in town here who helps me not only put together the question, but as I said earlier, he's usually the MC for our trivia. And I also give a shout out to my wife, who also helps me a ton. Her name's Joy.
Well, thank you so much again for this wonderful game. And like we said, thank you to all of our patrons for making this possible. And one last thank you to Airwave Media. If you would like to check out some of the other shows that are on our network, you can go to airwavmedia.com. And some of those other shows are the Film Vault, Ben Franklin's World, and Who Arted. So thank you very much to all of our fellow shows. Thank you to Whitney and Adam, and Ken, who isn't here, for Jeff, Matt, Whitney, and Adam. My name is Neal, and that was another episode of Triviality.